Hey guys, welcome back to Rockford Ordnance. Today we got a little different background, maybe some of you can tell. We are in the Great White North and having fun and doing some testing. Got our Yugo M78K out here. Actually, it's our good old trusty NPAP you guys have seen in a lot of videos. Before you get too excited, this isn't what today's video is about. We are stepping back a hair in history, and we are going to bring you some SKS love. What do you think? Not only some Yugo love, but a little Chinese SKS, and of course some Russian love. Look at that rifle, huh? So let's get started. I don't proclaim to be a firearm history know-it-all. I'll leave that stuff to Misha and guys like that who are just, God, I wish I had a memory like that and could remember all these dates and variants and all that, but I guess I can hold my own. I guess we'll start with this Russian one because that's, I guess, where it all started. So these SKSs were originally brought about or started coming together and being tested and whatnot in the 40s. Actually, you know, the AK-47 is named that because it came out in 47. These actually started a little earlier, and I think they first saw service, the SKS first saw service with a few frontline soldiers in 1945 during the invasion of Berlin. That being said, after World War II, they were kind of put on the back burner because the war was over. Everybody was kind of broke after fighting for all those years. And, you know, they had the AK-47 coming out. Ran into some problems with the receivers on those. That's a whole nother story. The milled receivers versus the stamped and what happened there, some of the cracking and why it all developed. And the SKS was brought back out for a short period of time while they figured that out. Anyhow, most of the SKSs you will see in this country were made 1950, and some say as late as 59, and then some of the Chinese into the 60s. But most of the Russian stuff is 50 to say 58, somewhere in there. There's most were built at the Tula Arsenal, very few at the Izzy plant. This one happens to be a Tula, and it's marked as such. There's the star here. This is an all numbers matching gun. It has a beautiful Arctic birch stock. You can kind of tell by the flaming on the Russian Arctic birch, and you'll see them on Mosin Nagants, you'll see them on these. It's just some really pretty stuff. This one has some flaming, not as much as some I've seen that are just beautiful, but you can definitely see it. And the Russians use this beautiful orangish red. A lot of people say it comes from pine tar and mixed in, I guess, with the shellac they use and whatnot. And it's just some beautiful coloration. This is all numbers matching, non-refurbed, original finish. Even the stock, the stamp in the stock, the numbers match, all original bluing. Has a beautiful cartouche. It probably won't pick up in the video here, but a really nice cartouche. And this is what they call a letter gun, I believe. There's 3 years, if you believe the thought process. I think it was, let's see, I think I, J, and K were the years, and that was 56, 57, 58, I believe. This is a K gun, making it a 58 the last year. You know, SKSs are that sturdy rifle that's been around for ages. When, you know, you first started seeing these at gun shows and on the shelves in the early 90s, I guess it would have been. You know, they'd be in barrels. You could buy them for under $100, $89, $99, $79, and you know, they were just a solid rifle. Guys bought them, shot them, put them away, bubbified them. If you saw my other video on the bubbification of a Yugo SKS, which is now this one I'm going to show you here. You know, people chopped them off, got rid of the bayonets, did all kinds of crazy stuff, plastic Tapco stocks, you know, these banana clips, right? That were essentially like an AK mag adapted to these, and all sorts of stuff. And I think to this day, a lot of people think that the SKS is related to the AK or can be made into an AK, and that's just not the case. It's a completely different firearm, and that's not a bad thing. It just is what it is. So let's go over that. It's a full stock rifle, you know, one of the last wooden full stock rifles to be made, right, anywhere in the world. And a fixed mag, 10 shot, like I said. You can release it with this lever here and dump it. It feeds from 10 round stripper clips. There's a notch in the top. Put the stripper clip in, push down, bolt hold open on the last shot, obviously. And once you load that stripper clip, all you're going to do is pull back a little and let her fly. There is that bolt hold open, so once it was loaded with the stripper clip, you'd let it go and you're set to go. Safety is here. It's kind of a U-shaped safety right here, and you push it forward, it's on safe. So to fire, there's a cutout in the stock here. You just push down and it's ready to go. The triggers are mechanical and utilitarian, to say the least. There's a bunch of take up and then kind of mush, and boom, they go. The firing pin is a floating firing pin in these. Early on, believe it or not, this is one of the things that maybe kind of got worse as they went along, but early, I'm going to say 1950, Russian SKSs, early ones, that actually had spring firing pins that had springs on them that kept the firing pin back. They got rid of the spring later to simplify things, and if you let your gun get dirty, that firing pin can stick in the forward position and you can get a slam fire. A slam fire is when you let that bolt go, it hits home and that firing pin ignites the round, sends it down the barrel. So keep your guns clean. You know, you hear of it happening. I know it can happen. I'm not saying it doesn't. I've never experienced it. I don't know. There's all kinds of fixes out there for them. Different companies sell different solutions, from lighter firing pins to spring-loaded firing pins, but I've never had a problem with any of mine, and they keep shooting just fine. So I think where a lot of the conversation comes about these being similar to an AK is, you know, you've got a similar recoil spring and all, but in the magazine, you know, if you put on one of those aftermarket, kind of looks like it. You've got a leaf sight, you've got the gas tube and all, but in reality, this is not a long piston gas setup. It's a short piston. There's a separate short piston up in here. And that's, you know, kind of where it ends. There's really no similarities other than that. It does fire a 7.62 by 39 round, delivers some nice punch. They're fairly accurate. They're all milled, and this one's done extremely well, extremely nice, and the bluing's absolutely beautiful. Combine it with this stock and the finish, and it's just gorgeous. They do have bayonets. You pull down, fold it up, and then you lift a little, and the ring goes over the barrel, and there you go. Early ones, Russian ones, did have spiked bayonets. I think those were 49s, maybe 50s, very few of them. And they then went to the blade style. So that's what you will see on 99.99999%. Cleaning rod here, adjustable front post sight, very similar to an AK. It is driftable for windage adjustment, and you can unscrew it up or down to adjust for height. And then your typical leaf sight in the back. This one goes to 1,000 meters, And yeah, just nice gun. Sling loop in the back, sling loop in the front that's built into the gas tube and around the barrel. So that is our Russian rifle, and hopefully we get you a little shooting in here. This Russian sure is a beauty. Let's see how she runs, huh? Nice. So guys, we're out at the range today. We've got our SKSs, we've got our Yugo, our Russian, and our Norinco Chinese. We are going to do a little shooting. Let's see how these rifles shoot. I haven't shot the Russian or the Chinese in so many years, I don't even remember what they shoot like. But let's start out with the Russian, shall we? And I didn't bring any stripper clips, but we'll load it manually, which is not a big deal. Just feed them in through the top. And push them down as you go. We'll just load a couple up here and see how she functions. So you pull the bolt back, let her fly. And let's see how she does. And bolt hold open on the last shot. I was shooting at 100, she's dead on. Dead on. And it's actually set to battle 0. If I move it up to 100, probably perfect. Let's try another few rounds here. It's actually easier to load them on the strippers. But what the heck here. Maybe we'll load up a little more. Sorry about the noise in the background. We're at a public range, and lots of people shooting today. For a weekday, it's kind of loaded. We're shooting some Golden Tiger. It's kind of our go-to ammo, and saw some still available out there. That's about it, I think. I wasn't counting. Anyhow, let's see how she shoots. Minute a man, so to speak. Russian shoots smooth, low recoil, really nice rifle. After that, probably, maybe the most iconic, or there's more of them out there than just about anything, and that is your Chinese SKS. So these obviously are all modeled after the Russian, and very similar in most ways. Stock is, if I lay it next to this one here, exact dimensions. Let's put them side by side here. Pretty much exact dimensions. You may see one major difference, and that's the spike bayonet here. And obviously the color. Look at the typical blonde Chinese wood versus that dark reddish brown Russian wood, but very, very similar other than that. So let's take a closer look. These were made all the way into the 60s, served in Vietnam, etc. This one is brand new. Although it was purchased in the 80s or 90s, I doubt it's had more than 10 rounds through it. Just one of those that sat in the safe and didn't get used much. Very nice blued finish as well, milled of course. It is a Norinco, and the spike bayonet is kind of cool. Same thing, you pull down, you got to lift up to put it over. And there you go. Kind of scary looking, huh? But kind of neat. You see these on the Norinco AKs and some of the double folders and whatnot. And they fold right in there. Same, you know, basic stock layout. You've got the 3 grooves. You've got a finger groove here. You've got the cross bolt here. Same sling mounts and all. Safety works the same way, same 10-round mag, same bolt hold open. I will say that just feeling this gun is much smoother than that Russian. Now, that could just be, maybe one has more lube or has been decosmoline better than the other, I don't know. But yeah, very similar. Same sights. This one is also 1,000 meters. Everything on these guns, guys, is serial numbered, from the receiver to the mag, the bolt, the sight leafs, everything, every part, and this is all numbers matching, of course, pretty much unfired. I didn't show you on the Russian one, but they have the trap door for, get it out of here, a cleaning kit, and they store nicely in there. If I can get it. My trapdoor's stuck. I'm going to have to mess with, there we go. Got it back in. So there you go. I don't have the slings on them right now, but they were typical, you know, canvas military slings. Same thing, 7.62 by 39, just a different variant. And hopefully we get some shooting with this one in there too. The one thing I really like about these rifles is how light they feel and how well they handle. Also, the recoil is almost non-existent for a rifle in .30 caliber, and they point so easy. At 100 yards, these sights, you pick up stuff so quick, and they're right on. I'm just shooting at little clumps on the berm, and they're hitting right where I'm pointing real fast. So check it out. Nice Norinco. So we've got our Norinco Chinese out here. Let's see how this one runs. We got 10 rounds of Golden Tiger in here, and we'll see how she does. Got the sight set to 100. Good to go. Running like a top. But this is about as mint as you get. I'm not sure what year this one is, or if it's even marked. By the way, the dust covers have serial numbers, as do the stocks. Again, it's stamped right into the stock here. So there's your Chinese. Now, most recently, 90s, you know, the Russian rifles were banned from import through a bilateral treaty with the Russians. They agreed not to send them over here. They did continue to be sent into Canada for a while, so you'll see them up there. Chinese rifles, actually, we know what all happened to those. Those were banned, so no more of those, unfortunately. There are some right now at a couple companies out there that got a batch. They were actually sitting, I guess, outside of China for, I forget what it is, 10 years or 20 years. They can't be in country in China. If they're out of the country and can be documented for X amount of years, they can be brought in. and they've been brought in. Classic Firearms has them, and maybe Aim Surplus. From what I hear, the condition is not that great. They may have different levels. I don't know if you can pay for a hand pick or something like that, but yeah, they're out there. Just nothing like you would have seen years ago when this rifle popped up. So anyways, come the 90s, here's the Yugos. This is an M59 66. Next is our Yugo. Let's see how this thing runs. So they load nice and easy, and hopefully this one shoots just as easy. Let's see. So where's she set? 100 yards. Let's go. Let's take the night sights down. They're kind of thick. Running great. Guys, these are just some fantastic rifles. I hope you can see this okay. The sun's not doing us any favors today, but sure are running good. And the major difference between the Yugo and any other SKS is this front end. And there's a grenade launcher built in. So this is the grenade launcher portion. The grenade goes over that. To fire the grenade, you switch the gas valve to that position, and that essentially turns it into a single shot rifle because it's directing all the gas out the barrel rather than through the gas tube to cycle the action. So it's a single shot. But what it does is when it directs all that gas down the barrel, it shoots the grenade. And there's even a grenade sight built in with markings here to gauge your accuracy or where it's going to go, and that's in meters. I think it starts at 140, or I'm sorry, 110, 50 to 110, 100 to 175, and 150 to 240. So they can get out there, and you can buy kits. You can get the dummy grenades and the blanks. They fire with a blank, by the way, guys. And so you get the blank firing adapter and the dummy grenades, and yeah, you can have some fun in your backyard. They're 22 millimeter grenades they fire, and I have heard of other grenades being adapted to these. If someone has a license and an FFL that allows them, I guess it would be destructive devices, they could get out and play with these things, but I would not recommend that. Anyhow, when you put the grenade sight down, you put the gas valve back over, and it's ready to fire as usual. Cool thing about the Yugos is, and like every Yugo, they're the M70s and whatnot, they have night sights. Yugos were big on night sights. So you flip it up here, and you've got an iridescent night sight, and in the back you have a little flip up here for night sight too. Tritium vials and or iridescent paint. So it can be used at night. I did have a video out about repairing this rear sight. It was canted a little bit due to the milling of how the rear sight fit in there. It's been fixed and it is pretty straight. As close as I can get it anyways, put it that way. These bolt carriers are a little more polished than their counterparts here. The bluing is, while it's nice, it's not as nice as the Russian or the Chinese, but still very nice. They have more of a true shiny blue, and this is a little more muted, a little more matte. But everything operates in the same way other than that grenade launcher. One nice thing, if you're into this sort of thing, the bayonet, when you pull it out, rather than have to hook over the barrel, you can just, and it clips over this ring for the grenade launcher. So you don't have to lift it up and over. This one has the sling on it. This is a Yugo sling, and clips in up here and goes through the loop back here. Again, serial numbered stock, all matching. Very nice rifle. What I like about these rifles is, and this is SKS in general, is that they're very mechanical. You feel every movement of these rifles compared to, say, an AR or an AK, where the cycle or even cyclic rate, if you're firing full automatic, is very quick. AR being the quickest, AK being the second, and then these are a lot slower, I think, because of the weight of the bolt and all, but they're very mechanical. You feel every motion. You feel the click, the boom, the ka-choom, the ka-choom. You can almost watch the bolt going. It's just very mechanical and just neat. I really like shooting these. They're a ton of fun. These were looked at over the years as, you know, the prepper rifle, the survivalist rifle. And why? Because they were cheap. They were under $100. You could buy crates of ammo. God, I forget. I remember AKs, you'd get a free crate of ammo when you bought one. But ammo was dirt cheap back then. And you could stash away 10 of these and 10,000 rounds a piece for, God, the rifles would be under $400 for 4 of them. Probably like $360 maybe. And 10,000 rounds of ammo. I don't know. Maybe $1,000. I don't know. So you could stash away a lot of these. Today, they're jumping in value. This, when I bought it, I remember specifically was $199. I think the Chinese rifle was probably under $100, and maybe the Russian a little more than that. But today, you will find on the low end, these Russians, or these Yugos are probably going, I don't know, 3 to 5. Chinese 6 to 8, and the Russians maybe 7 to 1,000, somewhere in there. Just guessing, you know, from what I see here and there in Gunbroker, which is probably more expensive than any of them, but depending how bad somebody wants something. But the stock, I believe the stock is beech. It's very similar, the grain and the feel, to what Yugo M70 handguards are made out of. This is finished with just an oil finish, boiled linseed oil, and came out really nice. This is how they were finished, just boiled linseed oil. And probably could use a couple more coats, but I'm happy with it. It's got some nice color and just a beautiful rifle. I've shot this one more than the other two, but they're all going to get a workout today, and we're going to run some ammo through them and see what we can hit. They are pretty accurate rifles. Nothing wrong with them, and they're very fun to use. If you've got one and this is your go-to prepper rifle, what have you, it's still not a bad choice. I have used some of the extended magazines. If you watch my other video on this where I debubbified this rifle, this was one of the first rifles I bought, and I put a Tapco interfuse system on it, collapsible stock and all of that, and it had the Tapco 20 round magazines. They worked incredibly well, guys. I never had a problem with them. You could load those mags using the stripper, or they were detachable, although hard to get off because of how the release works here. And you could reload them like standard mags and change them out, and I never had a failure to feed or extract or anything. They worked great. I do have a few of those metal Chinese ones. Those I have not really used that much, but I've heard mixed results. And then there's Pro Mags, and as usual with Pro Mag, I've heard you know, nothing but crap. But we put this one back to how it was. The wood's so damn pretty, and the whole gun is pretty. Something about wood and bluing, right? I mean, look at these things, guys. God, just beautiful. Let's see if we can get them all up here and on camera. Just some beautiful, beautiful rifles. And it's about time I brought them to you. I talk about them all the time and haven't showed you guys, so I figured why not? A good time, because we're getting back into the AKs, and this is a good stepping off point. We'll bring you some videos on these, and then we'll jump back into the AKs. And this rifle here, I just can't seem to get away from. You know, I've got more expensive rifles. I've got Krebs, I've got Vipers, I've got all kinds of stuff. And I come back to this rifle so often, and I tell you guys in other videos that it's just such a go-to rifle. I can pull this thing out at any time with this primary arms prism scope and just wallop a target at any distance. It's never off. It never loses zero. It always works, and it just shoots so well. Yeah, it's a bit heavy, but not a bad rifle. It's set up just the way I would want to go to war with this thing, and it fits me. I wish I didn't have to use this riser, but it fits perfect, and yeah, works great. So we're going to be coming back with some more AK videos. We'll show you a little more shooting here, and then we'll come back and say goodbye to you guys. So guys, I hope you enjoyed checking out these beautiful rifles with us. It's been fun to drag these out of the safe and take them out to the range. If you've got some, take them out. It's a nice break. It's something different. You probably haven't done it in a while, and it's fun. You can admire them, enjoy them, and be very accurate with them as well. So yeah, as always guys, please like and subscribe. There's a red button there, or at the very end you're going to see this big Rockford Ordnance circle. Just click on that. Go down, click on the thumbs up, give us a thumbs up. That really helps. Subscribe. Please share our channel. Check out our Facebook. Check out our Instagram. And as always, Rockford Ordnance out.